Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I work with a lot of individuals with attachment wounds. I specifically work with a lot of dismissive avoidance. I work with couples, I work with individuals, and I also sometimes work with families. But most of the time, predominantly, I work with avoidance, dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant leaning dismissive. But I also work with their partners as well. And those typically can be anxious preoccupied or fearful avoidant leaning anxious. And I also want to preface, I do work with secure individuals as well. I'm a therapist, so it's not like let's say I work with somebody who has OCD, but they're securely attached or, whatever else it might be. I will still work with them. And I have a lot of other specializations as well. So it's just something to keep in mind when I'm sharing a lot of these things. I have information from a lot of different angles, and I think that can make it helpful. Today, I really wanted to bring this up because some of my patients have really, they need this. And I think some of you guys do too. Basically, if you're a dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant, these are things that you can do to make it a little easier on your partner. Because I'm just going to be honest with you guys, your partner is doing a lot for you. You guys are difficult. I'm not saying that you don't love your partner. I'm not saying that you're not trying. But I am saying you could do things to make it easier. I think you guys know that, okay? And I'm not saying your partners are perfect and you guys are the enemy. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that there's got to be a give and take. You guys can't only dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance. You guys like to call the shots. Got to let that go a little bit because it's unfair. It's unfair. I'm just being honest with you. And you're going to push your partner away. And I know that doesn't sound like some of you guys don't care about your partners being pushed away, but more often than not, and I don't want you to learn it the hard way, you guys will be the one that will be very hurt that the relationship ended. So these are things that you can do. It doesn't mean you have to change right away. I'm not even saying that. You don't even have to change yourself. Just make it a little easier, a little bit of change. Doesn't mean you have to change your whole entire self and the way you are and your independence and your dignity and what you perceive as your strength. You don't have to change those things, but just a little bit, just to make it easier on your partner. Because I know you love your partner, or you're going to. You care about your partner. And I don't think you want your partner to be struggling. And so I'm going to lay out ways that can be easier without you having to change everything, right? And maybe one day you will, but you don't have to. Doing these things would just make it a lot easier. So that is what this video is today. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first one is be willing to hear your partner out instead of feeling like you should always be in control. What do you think that means? So I will tell you what I think it means. Sometimes your partner is saying something and maybe there's some truth to it, but maybe you're not ready to hear it. And so instead, I think you'd rather your partner compromise to what you're saying. So let's say you're saying, oh, we can't be in a relationship because relationships mean that you have to see each other every day. And I can't do that with my job. That's your logic, which is not healthy. That's very unhealthy because it's not true. It's a perception that you're using to put on your partner so that they don't keep asking you for commitment because you feel pressured, right? But what do you think your partner will say? Well, here's what I think your partner will say. I think your partner will say, a relationship label is just so that we can be secure, so that we can make commitments to each other. It's not about the amount of time we see each other. But why do you think you say that? Because you're afraid that it'll become that way, that your time will be taken away and it'll become that it'll take over your job. I want to ask you, you chose your partner for a reason. Don't you trust that your partner's probably going to hear you out? Your partner has made a lot of compromises for you. Your partner will make another one. If you never want to see your partner every day until you guys are ready to get married, your partner will probably listen. Your partner has compromised a lot. So just instead say it like that. Be willing to hear your partner out and then meet in the middle. Okay, I'm okay with us having a label as long as you promise that if I tell you I don't want to hang out, that you accept that. I don't know if I can commit to seeing you every day. And you may never be able to commit. That's a lot. That's a lot. And so you have to stand up for your feelings, okay? But you have to hear your partner out, and compromising is a key to that. Don't just bulldoze your way through and it's got to be your way. It's easier that way. I get that, but it's not easier on your partner. It's harder, and your partner might be frustrated and walk out. And obviously you put a lot of effort and commitment in this relationship already. And so that's probably not something you want to do because you just wasted a lot of time for yourself, right? And I think you know that. And so that's what I wanted to share. I don't mean that in a harsh way, but I'm just being honest with you. Compromising is really important in relationships, and it's not fun to compromise. I know that, and it's scary. But it's something that you do have to learn how to do, okay? The next one is understand your feelings towards relationships are based around trauma. And they may not be how you genuinely feel without that trauma. By trying things another way, you can understand something from another perspective. So this is really similar to the example I gave you at first, right? But let's stop at the first point. Understand that your feelings about relationships are based around trauma. So let's say a person, let's give an example. Let's say a person has social anxiety. And they're telling me they don't want to socialize. And their option for their social anxiety is to never have friends and never have relationships. They have decided to not socialize. Do you think that that's healthy? Maybe it works for them, but it sounds like it takes a lot of effort. You're going to have to socialize, right? You're probably going to. It'll be a lot easier if you learn that skill. And maybe somewhere deep inside, they wish they could socialize. They just don't know how to get there because it's too scary. They bump into their fear. So why do you think I gave you that example? Your fear towards relationships might not be how you genuinely feel. It might be your fear. It's very likely that it is. And so, instead of accepting the fear all the time, maybe you could lean against it to learn the skill better. Learn the skill of relationships. It will be handy for you, especially if you're with somebody. Learning those things will help you learn how to make it less frustrating. I know you guys don't like fights, so you want to fight less. Learning how to let yourself experience the pain without reacting to it, the fear, the trauma, will really help your relationship. And I think trying things another way, you can learn something from another perspective. If your partner is saying, you know, even if you're tired, let's just try and go on a date. Maybe you can give it a shot. Just try, see how it feels. Just like a person who's socially anxious. Even if you're anxious, why don't you do it anyways, right? That's what we practice all the time. Give it a shot. If it's too much, go home. It's not that bad. Maybe go to the outing just for 30 minutes. You don't have to stay for 5 hours like everybody else. Go 30 minutes. You don't have to go on a date every day. Why don't you just try once a week with your partner? Or you hang out once a week and maybe you go on a date once a month. Whatever it is, try it. It's not going to, you're not going to, get destroyed by that. Give it a shot. You could learn something. And I think growth is really important, and avoidants are really afraid of growth. Without you guys realizing it, you are afraid of growth. You're afraid of change, right? The next one. Typically, when there's absence of pressure, you're more likely to commit. Remind your partner of that. You guys don't like being pressured, and I don't blame you. It's not a comfortable feeling, right? But your partner doesn't really understand what you think is pressure. So remind them continuously, if you pump the brakes, if you stop pressuring me, it's much more likely that I will be okay with doing that. Just don't pressure me and let me come at my own time. If you tell them that clearly, because a lot of you guys don't say it clearly, I'm serious. I watch how you guys say it. It's not clear, at least to other people. Say it clearly. Let your partner get it. Stop, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. I know you guys don't like long drawn out topics, but just stop and take time to get it in their head. If you don't pressure me, I'm much more likely to want bedroom intimacy. I'm much more likely to marry you. I'm much more likely to want to hang out. Don't pressure me. I promise you that if you pressure me, it's going to pull me away. Tell them that, because they don't get it. I know it seems like they get it. They don't get it because they don't operate like that. You got to tell them. You got to tell them continuously. Okay? It's important for you because pressure is not going to help you, and you deserve your rights as well. So it's important, okay? The next one is be patient with your partner. Just as I mentioned, they don't operate like you. They can't read your mind. You got to tell them. And you have to start learning what you feel as well. Be patient with them. Be calm. In order to heal, you have to be patient. A lot of avoidants are not patient. By the way, not just avoidants, almost all insecure individuals struggle with patience more than secure individuals from my observation. Try to be patient with your partner, please. Okay? The next one is understand your triggers and communicate this, just like we talked about with the pressure. If you have a trigger with certain topics, tell them, this is one of my triggers. I don't think I can talk about this right now. Or can we talk about this another time? Or can you talk about it gently? Or can you not push this, on me right now? Can we process it slowly? Can you not get mad at me? Can you understand that I'm trying? Communicate so that your needs are more understood from your partner's standpoint, because they will not get it. They don't understand. They don't operate like you. You don't operate like them. But you have to be more understanding of that, and you want them to be more understanding about you. That's the way relationships tend to work, and it's a healthy option, okay? Now, the last one, and I'm not just telling you as an avoidant. Your partner, if you're the avoidant, tell your partner this as well. Understand that there is no one way to do something. Okay? I will give an example that works really well for secure partners, but does not work that well with avoidant partners. Secure individuals, once they get married, sometimes bedroom intimacy, especially if they have kids and jobs and, whatever else is going on, bedroom intimacy sometimes falls flat. It's not as common. It's not because they don't want to, it's because they're tired. So it's going to sound a little strange. Sometimes scheduling bedroom intimacy like a date can help secure individuals. It's a really common technique. Sorry, I shouldn't say intervention on video. It's a common technique in therapy. But avoidants don't like that because that feels really pressuring. In fact, it works the opposite effect of avoidant partners. So what I'm saying is there is no one way to do something. And that also means if you guys think as avoidants, I can only commit and get married if we have absolutely no fights, you might want to check that because that might not be true, right? Your way might be a maladaptive thought. It might be a maladaptive strategy. And it's just pushing you away and you're not healing. And so understand that your way might not be the only way. Listen to your partner. Learn, explore, learn things from other people, maybe even try a different way. We were just talking about how secure individuals, sometimes they can schedule intimacy. Try it, only if you're ready, because that one is hard. I understand that. Try different things out. Learn to expand, explore. If you want to get secure, sometimes you got to learn from other people. That doesn't mean you have to be 100% secure. You can still be independent. You can still have your alone time. I'm just telling you that these things can help you sometimes to work through some of those fears, okay? Not all of these will work. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach. I just wanted to share that. Hope that I can help somebody. Please subscribe, like, and I will see you in the next one.